Hello, sixth grade ladies. This is Miss Harris talking to you. This is our flipped lesson for health pertaining to self-image and identity in junior high. I'm talking to you, specifically sixth grade girls today. Real quick, grab a piece of paper. Yes, there will be notes. Sorry, but it's just the important stuff, things that are really important for you to know and review later and bring to our discussion in class tomorrow. First, why are we talking about this? I'm sure you're all wondering. You're in junior high and you begin hitting a developmental stage, puberty, that involves discovering who you are, where you fit in the world, how you view yourself, and how you view the people around you. This can be difficult. This can be a difficult time. A top wish among junior high girls is for their parents to communicate with them better about difficult subjects. Now, I know I'm not a parent, but I am an adult who will speak honestly with you about these difficult topics. However, these topics can be really difficult. You're in a hard point in your lives. We're kind of entering a very difficult time in puberty. Girls' self-esteem peaks when they are 9 years old. That's about 4th and 5th grade. Now that you're in 6th grade, you're starting to move out of that time when you feel really positive about yourself and you start feeling more negatively, and we need to address these issues. 7 in 10 girls believe they're not good enough or do not measure up in some way, including their looks, performance in school, and relationships. Some of you have come to talk to me throughout the school year about issues you're having with the way you look or how you're doing in school or how you're doing with friendships. And that's also part of why we're talking about this, because things get more difficult to manage in junior high. 62% of all girls feel insecure or not sure of themselves in one way or another. This is also why we're talking about this today, because you're hitting a point where it becomes really difficult to keep that positivity and we start feeling not necessarily bad about ourselves, but insecure. And that can turn into negativity in the future, which we want to avoid. First, we're going to talk about self-image. Self-image is a person's view of their abilities, appearance, and personality. Similar to self-esteem, it's not how others view you, it's how you view yourself. Now, sometimes other people do affect how you view yourself. Here we're going to talk specifically about you. So I want you to notice the picture. We have a cat who's viewing himself as something great and a dog viewing themselves as something very small. Self-image can be both negative or positive, just like self-esteem. And this is a point in your life where you're going to start feeling more negatively about yourself, and your self-image and self-esteem might be more negative. We want to fight that off and be really positive, and that's also one of our focuses for today. How do you see yourself? I want you to write down a list of adjectives that you feel describe yourself. You can go ahead and pause the video if you don't, just as many words as you can. For myself, I would describe myself as tall, nerdy, loud, silly, agreeable, cheerful, smart, whatever you think is appropriate. You go ahead and write it down, and I'll be interested to see what you have to say about yourselves. When you're done with that, I want you to answer these quick reflection questions. How many positive words did you use? How many negative words? Does the list of words you wrote make you feel positively or negatively about yourself? Do you feel really pumped up when you read that list aloud, or maybe not so much? And how many of your descriptions were about looks? All of them? Half of them? Quarter of them? You can give me a number, but how much were you focusing on your looks in your description of yourself? The reason I bet many of you decided to focus on looks is because your self-esteem is more strongly related to how you view your body shape and your weight, not how you actually look or how you actually wear, what others think about those, but how you feel about them. I have a feeling that this picture I have of a girl kind of judging herself in the mirror is maybe familiar to some of you already, and maybe that's something you do at home. And I do it too. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm upset about the way I look and I choose to be negative about it. The problem with judging ourselves on looks is that the looks we are shown in today's media are completely unrealistic. 71% of girls with low self-esteem feel their appearance does not measure up. But I'll tell you a secret. It's impossible to measure up to this. These women are not real. Notice they're really tall. They're super thin, but they also have large breasts. These photos are doctored. They're not actually this thin. Their skin is not that smooth. This is not natural. This is an unattainable, perfect body that we're told to try to measure up to, even though it's not possible. Now, chances are, a lot of us look much more like this. These are real women They have different body shapes and sizes. Sometimes their breasts are smaller, sometimes they're larger, sometimes they have rounder hips. But notice the large difference in the way all of these women look. They don't all look the same. These women all look the same. They can't. Where did you find a group of half a dozen women that all look exactly the same? That doesn't happen. It's because they don't look the same, but they're made to look like it with Photoshop. We need to be focused on this sort of beauty because this is the beauty that is attainable, natural, and healthy. We were talking about doctoring photos, and now I want you to take a look. This is a photo from Target's March 2014 ad in their swimsuit section. This was the original photo. Notice the changes they made. She already has a thigh gap, meaning her thighs don't touch. But over here, they made it about an inch larger, and in the process, cut off some of her butt. They moved her arm farther away. You can see the change here to make her look even thinner and for her arms to look even smaller. This is really unhealthy and not possible without serious harm to yourself. This is also rather unhealthy, even though this is the real woman's body. Still, she's not living a healthy lifestyle if she's that thin. Now I want us to listen to some real women talking. This is a video done by Soul Pancake. That's different women at various ages and stages, like talking about their feelings about their bodies when they started to maybe feel not so positive about their bodies. I want you to go ahead and take a look at the video and then write a 1 paragraph, that's 5 to 7 sentences, I know you know what a paragraph is, about how you felt about the video, if there was any women that you aligned with or you felt similar to ways they described. If you just click, it will go ahead and start. We're not going to watch the video because that would just make this a very long presentation. But go ahead, take your time. You can watch it more than once if you'd like. Now, we're going to jump over to identity. Yes, it is different from self-image. Identity is how a person defines themselves in the world around them. So how do you define yourself? And that's what I'm going to ask you to answer on the next sheet. An identity list or a map or a chart, however you want to put it. In your last list, you described yourself, but now I want you to list nouns that identify who you are, not adjectives that describe you. I would identify myself as a teacher, a reader, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a bad dancer, that's okay, and a singer as well. So go ahead, pause the video, take some time to answer that question, and then you can move on. Again, we have another reflection. This time, how many positive words did you have versus how many negative words? And what kind of situations would someone choose to ignore their own identity? I'm going to guess that you have far fewer negative words in this second list. Being a daughter isn't negative. Being a sister isn't negative. Being a dancer, even if you're a bad dancer like me, and I'm okay with that because I like that, isn't a negative thing. Right? And why would you maybe choose to ignore one of your identities? Because your friends don't like it, or your parents say it's not a good identity to have. You can be more than one. Like in the photo, that's why I included this one. You have so many more options besides one identity. You can be them all. You're not stuck in a box doing the same thing. What I really want you to take away from today is to focus on the nouns. No one defines you except yourself. Like I said, I think that your identity list is probably way more positive than your self-image list. It's important to focus on who you are, not necessarily what you are or how you look, because what defines you is going to be the type of person and the type of relationships you have. And that is where we come up with positive self-image and positive self-esteem through our identity, not through our looks. And that's what's really important to know if you're going to maintain a happy, positive self-image through junior high. And of course, Works Cited page. I'm also your English teacher, so it's important that we cite our sources. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Be ready to discuss and share